it's Nett Tina.
Good morning, y'all.
Welcome back to our Friday coffee chat.
We have our coffee.
And, like always, we talk about our mug. Same kind of coffee. And my mug is I Love New York. Earl got me this when he went to New York.
And this mug I'm drinking out of is Nett's mug, but it's from South Dakota.
Earl got that for me when he went to South Dakota. So if any of you are from South Dakota or New York, let us know in the comments. We know that our good friend Kim from the Homeschooling Grammy is from New York. I don't really know anybody from South Dakota.
I don't either. So give us a shout if you are from South. South. My mouth don't want to move this morning. South Dakota.
Okay. Well, we tried to change up the scenery a little bit this morning. If you notice, we're outside.
And it's very foggy, y'all.
It's foggy. So that's why the backdrop looks so white. It's because that's fog.
And we're hoping our faces are not as white as the fog. Yeah. We don't blend in with the fog.
A while ago when I was doing a test run, I was looking back on it and I could see this smoke just flying around my head. And I'm like, what is that? Then it dawned on, that's fog.
It is. It's very foggy this morning.
Is. Okay.
Well, we're going to jump right in today and start having our chat. Got a couple of things we're going to talk about.
Tina got a new bird over the weekend.
I did. My daughter Stephanie bought me a little parakeet. We went to the pet store.
Oh, it's so cute.
I could kick myself because I should have vlogged it, but I didn't.
I told her, I said, well, did you vlog this trip getting this bird?
I didn't. They had blue and white and green parakeets.
She's had a blue one before.
And I've had one with a lot of white. So I decided to get the common parakeet, the green ones. And you know, they also have a little black on them. So I named him Kiwi. That was what we did the weekend. My daughter went with me and I drove, believe it or not. Yes. And I got me a little bird. Can I
just tell you that's going off on here like this? Is it on my mouth and face and all this stuff?
It's just on your hand.
I'll be right back. You talk.
The black off her cup is coming off. That's strange. Anyway, so my daughter and I, we went to a town that's about 30 minutes away, I guess, and I drove, believe it or not, because I don't like dry places. And she knows I've been wanting a bird, so she bought me that little parakeet, and she bought me a nice, good-sized cage for him, a couple of toys, and what they call a hut, which looks like a coconut on the top and the bottom, and it's open around. She bought me that, and the food, of course, and a ladder to climb up. He's just starting to get used to me, so I let him get used to his cage. And now I'm talking to him some, and he'll look at me and stuff like that. But I'm not going to I'm going to wait another week or two if I start trying to get my hand in there, just to hold my hand steady in there, just to let him get my scent.
Let me talk about my new cup here. This says greetings from Holland. Isn't that pretty? This is one of my favorite cups. This is my very first cup that he brought me back on his trips. This is from Holland.
So if anyone's out there from Holland, give us a shout out.
Yes.
And still from New York. But
yes.
The writing, the New York started coming off on my fingers.
It was all over my fingers, and I said, what happened? Anywho.
So we're done talking about the bird.
So I want to say, because we haven't talked to any of y'all, we haven't been on since we were supposed to have went live on Monday. So we want to apologize that we had to cancel that right there at the last minute, but Tina wasn't feeling good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all.
She's still not well. I mean, all the way well, but she's doing better.
I'm feeling okay to come out and do this.
And hang out. All right, well, today we wanted to take a sip. Don't know if you noticed our shirts or not. I don't believe we've shown them on our YouTube channel yet. We have on our Facebook.
Can't see it real well, but
they say I wear white for my dad. Lung cancer awareness. Our daddy was diagnosed back in 2015, end of January 2015, with non-small cell lung cancer. And by the time he found out that he had lung cancer, it was already stage 3. So back in 2014, back in the fall, I remember him and Erwin and I out cleaning up our trees that we have down the path here, and he kept complaining that he was hurting in his side right back here.
Yes, and when he'd get on and off the golf cart, it would hurt.
And so he was back and forth to the doctors, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and they kept saying it was bronchitis.
CP.
And plus he had COPD.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Can't think of it.
but they kept treating him for bronchitis, and then in December it got kind of bad again. It never really went away, but it kind of got better because, you know, he was on breathing treatments, he was on this, that, and the other. And then the last part of December, they said that he may have pneumonia. He was scheduled to have a CT scan in January. Anyway, he ended up having to go to the emergency room, and we went to the emergency room, and while we were there, they did it there. And that is when the doctor said that he needed to be transferred because he had a mass on his lung, and he said right off it was cancer.
Yeah, he said it was cancer.
By the time he was able to get a biopsy, I believe was probably sometime in February, it came back as stage 3 non-small cell lung cancer. Well, the doctor said before they even done the I think it's the PET scan, that if it was stage 4 right off the bat, he was saying there's nothing, I'll go ahead and tell you now, there's nothing we can do for that. Right. He said, but if it's stage 3, 2 or 3, you know, there are some options. Well, it was stage 3. And so, but I want to say that I don't know how he was at home when it was just him and Mama, but around me, I seen him cry every once in a while. It wasn't a lot. Honestly, to me, he held it together. Yes, I did see him, you know, get upset or emotional here and there, but I mean, he held himself together. I don't know if he was doing it for me or for the family or what, but it's like when we left there after learning he had stage 3 lung cancer, he said, well, let's go on to the steakhouse. Remember? Yeah. We left and we went straight to the steakhouse. But anyway,
and we were all like,
yeah, I was all to pieces. I held myself together, but when I got home, I was all to pieces.
Sometimes I just wonder if he realized how bad that was.
Sometimes I wonder. I don't know. But honestly, you know, I will say this. I believe it was just in him. It's just like my cousin Tammy.
Yeah.
All that she went through for almost a year, she held it so well. She dealt with it with such, I don't know, grace, I guess. I don't know. It's like
she laughed, she still smiled, and she joked, and
even my daddy did. I mean, he cut up and you know, and kept going until he could not go anymore. And Tammy was the same way. I mean, you'd go see her. I mean, she made you feel better.
She did.
Really, she never complained, you know, her children said, and he was strong. He was a strong man to me, and, you know, I don't know what he was feeling inside, but every time I saw him, he would always try to make me laugh or, you know, cut up, make the situation a little bit lighter. After we found that out, he was scheduled for all these tests to take place. Well, in between finding out he had stage 3 until the next time he could go and have another scan, he was put back into the hospital with a blood clot. And so that delayed all the other testing. And then while he was in the hospital at that time is when they did another scan while he was there, because they couldn't do anything else. And they, just in that short amount of time, it jumped from stage 3 to stage 4. After he got out of the hospital, the doctor said, well, we can try chemotherapy and we'll see how, you know, how you deal with that. So I remember taking him on the way to the hospital to get his little port inserted. And on the way there, he was just, this is the first time I saw him break down. He was sitting in the front seat with me and we were driving down, and he said, he just broke down and he said, I just want to go home and go down to the ranch. And, you know, like we talked about before, the ranch is where the horses are and the cow, and, you
that's
know,
where he spent a lot of his time.
And anywho, we went there and he got his port, went through all that stuff, and, you know, that's not an easy process. And So after that, then he was scheduled for his first chemo treatment. We went, and the doctor said that he was just too sick and too weak to go through that. So honestly, that is when I felt like
there was nothing else.
There was nothing else to do unless God intervened and chose to heal him. And honestly, I believed that whole time that God was going to heal him. You know, my daddy lived all of his life not knowing the Lord, not going to church, or most of his life until, you know, right before he got sick, he started going to church a little bit here and there. And at home, he gave his heart to the Lord. And I believe today, right now, he's in heaven. I know he's in heaven. And I wouldn't have him here in the shape he was in for nothing in the world. But I miss him like crazy. But anyway, we brought all this up not to get all sad and mushy and all that. But his birthday is Tuesday, March 5th.
Yep.
And so we want to dedicate this coffee chat to him. When I get done telling the story, we'll talk about a little something on the happier side, memories we have. But after he was sent home without having the chemo, he was put on palliative care, and then, you know, it quickly turned to hospice care. We all know what that is. But anyway, on July 25th of 2015 at 2:23 in the morning, he passed away. And life has not been the same ever since then. It never will be. But we have learned how to go on with our life. I remember telling Mama when he passed away, I just laid in her lap, and I remember telling her, you know, we were both thinking, what are we going to do without him? And then I remember saying, well, Mom, we're going to have to learn a new normal. And that's what we've had to do.
He also made life fun because, you know, he was
always cutting up.
He loved to laugh. He cut up. And I'm going to just tell you a few things. He always made our Christmas special when we were little.
It's all right.
I'm an ugly cry.
It's all right. It's all right.
Anyway.
But yeah, he did. He always liked to cut up.
He always videoed our Christmas.
Yeah.
He always videoed
and
it.
I think
set the camera place.
Yeah. And let me tell you this. And I tell you, that's probably where I've got my mess from. I always love to take pictures. I've always liked to take video, don't I? Haven't I? And, you know, he wouldn't care. Oh, you don't want to be video? It don't matter. It don't matter. It's set up in the corner here, and it got what it got, and then
sometimes it might not get
anything. It might get the ceiling. It might get the floor. One time it was stuck on Mama's back end right there. But, you know, we go back and it's on VHS.
It's funny. It's funny.
You go back and look at it and it's
all
like,
those memories.
Those memories, I wouldn't take nothing for it.
And another thing he loved Elvis.
Yes, he did.
He loved Elvis. He would always try to dance like Elvis.
Oh, my goodness.
But he would do all that. That's something else he liked. He loved, of course, you know, the ranch. He loved riding horses. When I was little.
He was a cowboy.
When I was little, me and him and his brother Uncle Erwin and our cousin Tammy we've been talking about, every weekend we would go riding. Every weekend. And that was a big deal to me growing up.
And I used to ride horses with him. I had a horse, but some time along the way, I like to die. Honestly, we were down at, we have a little thing called Farmer's Day in a little town not too far from here, and we were riding horses. Well, I was riding bareback, and all of a sudden I started itching in between, you know, my legs and my eyes. Everything just started itching. I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world? And we were camped out down there to stay the whole weekend. Well, I had to come home. And time I got in the car and come home, my throat had already almost swelled shut. I mean, I don't know how I made it home. And I was broke out from head to toe in huge whelps. My eyes were all swollen. I couldn't hardly breathe. But that's when I become allergic to horses. Isn't it crazy? So I couldn't ride anymore, and unless I was really heavily medicated.
was the life of the party. Anything we were doing, he was the life of the party. And we just wanted to dedicate this coffee chat
he
to
loved
him.
coffee. He loved coffee.
Yes, if I'd come over in the morning, you want your cup of coffee? Yeah, I'd say yeah.
We hope you enjoyed our little coffee chat. Something different. Didn't mean to get all teary-eyed and emotional, but I will say this. Because Tina was fixing to say this, that we talk about my daddy, our daddy, her daddy, my daddy, whatever.
It's confusing.
I'll link in a card right over here. I think it's on this side, I'm not sure. I'm going to link it in a card. A small history lesson, I think, is the name of it. Where we explain who's daddy's who and all of that.
But I will say, Bill raised me since since I was 8 years old. And he was daddy, and then I had my daddy.
Yeah.
So.
And he was my daddy.
Yeah. So, you know.
I look like him, I act like him, and a lot of times we butt heads because we're just alike.
Yes.
We are just alike, and you know, I've had people ask me before where I got my little craziness, silliness from, and I got it from him because he loved to cut up, and I do. I love to laugh. I don't act my age ever, and I mean, I love it.
That's true. She looks just like him. She acts like him. She has the temper like him. I mean, it's just all, you know, that's all him right there. Yeah. And me, you don't know anything about my daddy. She looks just like her daddy spit her out. Yes.
Honestly.
Yes, I do.
We want to wish our daddy a very happy birthday in heaven.
Yes, happy birthday,
and Bill. We love you and miss you terribly. Thank y'all so much for watching our coffee chat. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you Monday for Monday Live.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.